Late February, 1959. A search team is climbing a remote slope in Russia's Ural Mountains. They've been looking for 9 missing hikers for days. Then, they find the tent. It's still standing, half buried in snow. And it's been cut open. Not unzipped, not untied. Cut. Long slashes through the fabric from the inside out. Inside, they find belongings. Boots, warm coats, food, untouched. What they don't find is a single person. Whatever happened here, the hikers left in such a hurry that they sliced their way out of their own shelter in the middle of a Siberian winter night and ran out into the snow without their shoes. Nobody yet knows where they went, or why leaving felt safer than staying. 10 days earlier, on January 23rd, 10 young hikers left the city of Sverdlovsk for a skiing expedition through the northern Urals. Most were students at the local Polytechnic Institute. Their leader was a 23-year-old engineering student named Igor Dyatlov, experienced enough that the group had been cleared for one of the hardest trail categories the Soviet Hiking Federation recognized. There was a 10th hiker, too, a man named Yuri Yudin. 4 days into the trip, his knee and back pain got bad enough that he made the call to turn around and head home early. He said goodbye to his 9 friends at a small settlement called Vizhai, and he never saw any of them alive again. Hold on to that. It matters later. The remaining 9 pushed on toward a mountain the local Mansi people called Kolatsyakal. In their language, it roughly translates to Dead Mountain. The hikers didn't know that yet. They were just following the map. They were due to send a telegram back to their sports club roughly 3 weeks after setting out, confirming they'd made it through safely. The telegram never came. At first, nobody panicked. Delays happened on routes this remote. But when February 20th passed with no word, search parties finally set out. It took days of searching before anyone found anything at all. Then, on February 26th, a rescuer spotted the tent, collapsed, half covered by snow, on the slope of Kolatsyakal. Cut open from the inside, exactly as we described. Skis planted upright in the snow nearby, like they'd been used to mark the spot. Outside the tent, searchers found a trail. A line of footprints, some in socks, some completely barefoot, leading away from the campsite and down toward a tree line more than a kilometer away. In temperatures that night, had likely dropped below negative 25 degrees Celsius. The footprints just stopped. No struggle, no signs of dragging. They simply ended, buried under fresh snowfall, giving up whatever answer they were about to provide. Near the tree line, searchers found the first sign of the hikers themselves, a campfire, long since burned out. And close to it, the first 2 bodies. Both were dressed only in underwear, in weather that could kill an exposed person in under an hour. Why would 9 experienced winter hikers run from their tent, undressed, into a night that cold? 3 more bodies were found scattered between the fire and the tent, in positions that suggested they'd been trying to climb back up the slope when they died. That left 4 hikers still missing. It would take the spring thaw and 2 more months before anyone found them. In May, as the snow began to melt, a search dog picked up a trail near a ravine, roughly 70 meters from the burned-out fire. Under 4 meters of snow, searchers found the remaining 4 bodies. These 4 were dressed differently than the others, wearing mismatched clothing, some of it clearly stripped from the earlier victims. As if, at some point in the night, the group had realized they needed to share what little protection they had left. But it was the condition of these 4 bodies that turned this from a tragic accident into a case that's still debated more than 60 years later. 1 had major skull damage. 2 had severe chest trauma, injuries a forensic examiner would later compare to the kind of blunt force you'd see in a serious car crash, without a single external mark of impact on the skin. And among the group, 3 of the bodies had disturbing soft tissue injuries to the face. 2 were missing their eyes. 1 was missing her tongue. There was no sign of an attacker, no footprints besides the hiker's own, no struggle at the tent, and yet somehow, at least 3 of the 9 had died from trauma more severe than freezing to death. Investigators tested clothing from the group. Some of it came back with elevated levels of radioactivity, And that finding, that one detail, is what turned this from a strange accident into one of the most argued-over mysteries of the 20th century. The official Soviet investigation closed in May of 1959. Their conclusion, word for word, was that the group had died from a compelling natural force. Nothing more specific. The case file was sealed. The mountain itself was closed to hikers for the next 3 years. That vague, unsatisfying answer is exactly what let the theories take over. Some believed it was an avalanche, though searchers at the time found no obvious avalanche debris near the tent. Others pointed to secret Soviet weapons testing, fueled by the radioactive clothing and the area's proximity to a real nuclear contamination event 2 years earlier, one that at least 2 of the hikers had direct ties to. Some witnesses in the region reported strange lights in the sky around the time of the incident, which only added fuel to theories involving military testing gone wrong. For decades, none of it added up cleanly. Every theory explained part of the evidence and ignored the rest. Then, in 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case using modern forensic and physics modeling. And in 2020, they landed on an explanation that finally accounted for the injuries without any external attacker at all. A rare, delayed slab avalanche, small enough to leave minimal surface debris, but powerful enough to crush chests and skulls against the packed snow floor of the tent, similar to forces studied decades earlier in crash test research on the human body. It's the most scientifically supported explanation to date. It's also, notably, not something everyone accepts. Questions about the missing eyes, the cut tent, the radioactive clothing, and the exact sequence of who ran where and why are still debated by researchers and amateur investigators to this day. Officially, the case is closed. Unofficially, it's never really felt finished. Remember Yuri Yudin, the 10th hiker, the one who turned back 4 days in because of a bad knee. He lived until 2013, more than 50 years past the night his friends died on that mountain.